What's up, YouTube? How you guys doing? Wow, kind of dark, aren't we? Anyways, this is a video response for Foolkiller5150. He's having a contest. He has reached 200 subscribers, man. So congrats on that. Super nice guy. Been commenting on my videos for a while. I've seen a few of his videos, so he's kind of new to me. I can't say he's new to me, but I haven't watched nearly enough videos, so I've been catching up lately. Super awesome guy. Like him a lot. Doesn't show his face in his video, just goes straight to showing the comics, so yeah, maybe I should have done that one too. Wouldn't have been half as fun seeing me not drink, would it have? Could have just showed my shot glass and the bottle, pouring it, and then I could have thrown it in my shoulder. You never would have known. But, okay, so anyways, yeah, this is his 200 subscriber contest. Congrats, man. If you're not subscribed to him, go and subscribe, man. Foolkiller5150. I think he's a Van Halen fan. What do you think? So, he's got 4 questions here, and we'll try to do this before my family walks in the door. My wife went to pick up Gabriella, so he said, what got you into comic collecting? So, first off, okay, I've mentioned these things before. What got me into comic collecting were a few things. First off, it was the Super Friends cartoon when I was a kid. I was just blown away. Loved it. I mean, seriously, like Star Wars changed my life. That was what changed my life before Star Wars. Super Friends were just, oh my God, they blew my mind every week, man. Superman, Batman, all those people together. I mean, how cool can you get it? But I would go to my dad would come pick me up, me and my twin brother, and take us to Grandma's house. Well, Uncle Greg, he had comic books. So after we get done playing with his old G.I. Joe 12-inch dolls, wrecking havoc with those, then he'd get out the comics for us to sit and read those. So we were reading stuff like Teen Titans, the early version, the first run, Volume 1. So every time I see these old Teen Titans, that's what it makes me think of, being at Uncle Greg's house. Well, Grandma's house, but Uncle Greg being there. So he'd have Sergeant Rock. I mean, this is not quite old enough for what he had, but that was one of the things. He had war comics. He had Cowboys and Indians, so like Backlash, Western Kid, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if these last couple are exact issues, but this is the kind of stuff he had. I mean, older, early 60s stuff. Stuff like this. Showcase. But it was all mainly DC stuff that he had. So that's how I was exposed to DC Comics. It's through Uncle Greg. He had Superman comics. He had Batman comics. And then I would go to my cousin Chris and Yuri's house. Well, they were into Marvel. So there was no cartoons at the time that I remember of Marvel heroes. I mean, I think I knew who Captain America was and people like that. Maybe. But this one comic in particular got me so into comic books. This issue right there. And that's actually why he's one of my favorite heroes. To me, he's still Vindicator. Even if he's Guardian and what else since then? Weapon Alpha. He's Vindicator to me, man. So this particular issue got me into... actually, I ended up getting the issue from him. And when I sold a bunch of comics, I had sold those. So I had to retrack this down, which it's got a little... Someone didn't fucking take their tape off their bag and stuck it to the X-Men there. So, yeah. So I need a new copy of that, but it's still a pretty good copy. And I remember he had this. This is one issue I remember I would just freak out looking at Beast. He had, what, Amazing Spider-Man, I'm not even going to say, the first Punisher. I remember him showing me that. He's like, and I was just like, who's this guy? So I just remember the big skull on his chest. So when I see the cover of the first appearance of Punisher, Amazing Spider-Man, that's what it makes me think of being at Chris's house. And he'd have stuff like this too. I remember they had these big magazines. He had this one, and he had the one with the Super Friends all lined up, running towards the villains. And then I remember he also had the Flash versus Superman comic, the big one like this. So I'm kind of nostalgic for these big comics too. So when I see those, I try to pick them up. So that's what got me into comic collecting. Were those 3 things: Super Friend cartoons, Uncle Greg, and my two cousins. And they wants us to show our prized possessions. Our most, and I had to think about this, man. I'm like, man, I got so many prized possessions. What's more prized than others? I mean, I love my G.I. Joe run. I got them all except for number 150. So, I mean, I love that. I mean, if my house catches on fire, and I'm going to have to run back in and get them. But here's what it is. And I'm not going to show all of them because I've showed a couple before. But it's my Mego collection. There's Thor. I'll just pull them at random here. He's so dark. There's the gorilla from Planet of the Apes. There's Dr. McCoy from Star Trek. And these are original. There's General Ursus. Or is this Urko? I can't remember. I think they labeled the package wrong. Either way, it's Ursus and Urko. So those. And these are Megos, man. The astronauts. Verdon and Burke. Alan Verdon and Pete Burke. Galen and Zira. We'll pull through these a little quicker. There's Dr. Zess. Kirk and Spock. And these are originals, man. I actually had bought these a few years ago, and I've actually had them in the package since the 90s. So, yeah, more than a few years ago. And like a dumbass, I got drunk and my buddy talked me into opening them. So I try to keep them as pristine as possible. And then they made the retro ones, and I could have bought them just, a year or two later. So it kind of pisses me off, but they're in beautiful shape. Uhura, Scotty. Yeah, we'll try to go through these quicker here. Shazam, Catwoman, Green Arrow. Yeah, I've showed most of these before. The Riddler, Aquaman, Spider-Man, Falcon. Now here's ones I haven't shown. Chips. I have 3 of the Chips dolls, and I bought these from some lady near here. She collected dolls since the 70s, and she had a whole bunch of Megos, so I actually have all the police officers, and there's like a couple thugs I think you can buy. But she has the motorcycles too, so I need to go back and get the motorcycles. And here isn't quite Mego. Oh, wow. Where'd these Megos come from? Okay, some more Megos. Batman, Captain America, Joker. So, anyways, let's go ahead and load these back in here real quick. So, anyways, I haven't shown these either. And these were not Mego, but these were Mego inspired. So once Mego became big, all the other companies wanted in on it. So LJN made dolls for the TV show SWAT. And I've actually got all 5 guys, but I didn't bring them downstairs. So I worshipped these when I was a kid too. It's not about having removable hats and removable bulletproof vests. Yeah, see a little vest, checker, yeah. Had an M16, I love that. And here's why it's one of my most prized possessions, because why I had to include it. I have the SWAT van. Door opens up, back door opens up, and sit them in the back. I worship this thing, man. I've wanted this since I was a kid. And as an adult, you can buy things that you want as a kid. I also have the Emergency 51 dolls. I don't have the emergency vehicle. Wish I did. That'll be one of my most prized possessions when I get hold of that. So if any of you guys know someone who has the emergency vehicle from Squad 51 Emergency, God, yeah, it's actually kind of expensive, so I better not put that out there. But I also have the Planet 8 Treehouse. Still in the box. The box has been opened, and it has been put together, but I have the box, so I don't know if you guys can see in there. It's all, there's the catapult. So, there's that. So that would be my most prized possessions. Even above my comics. I love my Megos, so, yeah. Not many things could come between me and my Mego dolls, so. Then the next question was, where will my collection be in 10 years? I would say, if I'm still here, I've lived kind of hard. And, well, I mean, it'll go to Gabriella. Like I said, I don't know what she's going to do with them, but they'll definitely go to her. Actually, I may split some of them up between my twin brother and my buddy Jeff, so I know he wants some of them. So, but Gabriella gets something. She'll get some kind of collectible. So that's where my comics should be in 10 years if I'm dead. So, and the last question is, tell one thing we don't know about Gimpy. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I didn't learn to drive a car till I was 36. I'm 43 now, so I've not been driving that long. And why, you ask? Just didn't want to. Had no desire. That way I could be the guy who got drunk and didn't have to drive anybody home. So yeah, I was a partier, and people tried to make me drive, and I was like, why? I had so many friends, I could get anywhere I needed to be. So, and I actually took Gabriella. My wife being pregnant with Gabriella before, I was like, you know what, I got to do it. So yeah, I mean, it's a stupid excuse, but I finally got my priorities straight. So because of Gabriella, I learned to drive a car, and I'd actually have nightmares about it. I'd have nightmares that I was in a car and it was just out of control. So it compounded my fear. It got worse over the years. It's like, I can't drive. I mean, I had subliminal tapes where I was listening to those, trying to build confidence to drive. Didn't want to do it. And now that I drive, I'm like, shit, man. What the hell was I so scared of? So I think it'd be funny because I drive kind of fast. I've got I'm very aggressive. So I said, wouldn't it be funny if I ended up at some kind of, well, not NASCAR. What NASCAR? What if I started driving for NASCAR? I just think it'd be funny if I ended up becoming a driver for something where, you know, and people are like, he didn't get his license until he's 36, and now he's competing in, you know. So, but I have no desire to do that. But sometimes when I drive, I think, God damn. And I can control a car pretty well. I mean, people say they're scared with me, not because I can't drive, it's because I ride people's asses. So that might be me behind you. So, and if and maybe I've already said that I didn't drive. If I have already said that, then I'll give a bonus one. Another thing that you didn't know about me, I was in a car that went into a lake when I was 6 years old. And I drowned. And, yeah. That's something not many people, I don't think most of my friends even know that. So, yeah, I was 6 years old and I was in a car and we drove into a lake. And luckily there was people camping on the boat ramp. I don't know why they came up to that. See, I feel like I've said this before, too. Anyways, they jumped in, saved us all, so, yeah. So that was, maybe I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know. So, Gimpy likes vodka? Gimpy likes ladies? Huh. Anyways, so that's everything right there, man. We got through about a 15-minute video, probably. Foolkiller5150, man. You're awesome. Seriously, I'm dedicating a lot more time to watching your videos. It's not that I don't watch your videos. It's just I went through that time all summer where I didn't catch up to people's videos, and you've made a lot in that time. So I think when you first subscribed, I watched the hell out of them. But I looked back and I was like, man, I've missed a lot of them. So, which actually I missed a lot of you guys's. So super nice guy. I'm really enjoying He's got some fucking heller comics, man. Shit, I mean his stuff rivals most people on here. Yeah, he said he's got to be younger than me. So, yeah, man, go check out his channel. I'll put a link below because I'm getting smarter and I know how to do that now. And, yeah, so 51, I'm just going to create a new name for you. Foolkiller5150, you rock, man. Congrats on the 200 subs. And good luck to everybody else in the contest. And talk to you guys later. I'll make a drunken video probably this weekend. Ben Affleck as Batman? What do you think, Robin?